We're set up and we're ready to go, and we're working on a request. Somebody asked us about this on the channel. I'm just going to make sure I can see comments, so bear with me. Yeah, somebody sent a message, put a message on one of our videos asking about how to carve a Star of David. So I thought the easiest way is to demonstrate it. So just check everything's working okay. Yeah, that all seems to be fine. So let's get started. Right, I'm going to put that phone there so I can see any comments that come through. Yeah, so what I've done is I've marked it all out, and then in between times as well, I've got lots of little jobs that I'm working on. I'll just grab this one over here. There's just a few little jobs that we're working on. So things like we got the robin Christmas tree decoration, that needs a little bit of work on. This Lovespoon here, I need to cut around the heart, so that needs finishing off. And we've got a little butterfly as well. First thing I'm going to do is to check the scroll saw blade. So I'm going to take the tension off, because I might actually start on something slightly different depending on how worn this blade is. Yeah, probably best. For a project like this, I'm thinking because of the thickness of the wood, probably best for us just to start off with a new blade. So instead of going straight into using a new blade, what I can do, I can finish off some of these other jobs before I get onto it. So we see how long the blade lasts. And then to do that Star of David, we've changed over. But that's going to be the main one. Somebody asked me how I would go about making it. So you can see the first thing I've done, I've got the design, I've marked it all out, I've done all of my pierce work holes, I've prepared the wood, so I put that packing tape all around it, got it as flat as possible, and then realised I forgot to drill that hole, so that's made a little indent. But yeah, we're just getting everything ready for it to be done. Hello to the carver, away we go. Yeah, fingers healing up. That one nail doesn't look too clever, and this one looks a lot worse, but I've got about 80-90%, well, about 90% movement in the fingers, so the finger's good, just the nail doesn't look too clever. Hope all is good, hope all is well with yourself. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, starting to, the sun is shining a little bit more here, but still quite cold. Yeah, Thomas the Woodcarver saying there in the background, still a bit chilly. But here we go, let's finish off this Lovespoon. First of all, beautiful piece of wood, as you can see. And we get straight into it. Hello Ma, hope all is well. Thanks for joining us. Everybody else as well, thanks for joining us. Let's go back and explain this one. Yeah, just to explain with this one here, what it is, this is a replica of a bespoke Lovespoon, so a one-off spoon we were doing for somebody. And I thought the design, because you've got that eternity sign, the entwined hearts, the scroll and the twist, I thought it'd be a nice one for us to have in the workshop as well. I had this beautiful piece of wood, so I thought fantastic. We'll make a replica. So I've cut out most of this, 2 pieces of wood at the same time. So the one for the customer, and then we got this one here that we can have to put on display and for sale in the workshop. So that's what we do quite often. See, we don't making 2 of them at a time. Brilliant. There we are. So you can see little knot on this one, but I don't worry too much with this particular wood when it comes to knots. I find that they're a little bit more stable in this wood than they are in some of the other woods that we work with. So yeah, we can work around that one there. If I am concerned about it at any stage, you can always use a little bit of that thin CA glue from Starbond, and it can stabilise the knot as we work on. There we are, as easy as that. We've managed to turn one spoon into two spoons ready to carve. And we've made use of a beautiful piece of wood. I was making it, you know, when you're working with a piece of wood like that, you're always looking at it thinking, oh, there's a few difficult areas in it. So you're always taking a bit of a chance, but I always think it's worth it when it's such a lovely piece of wood. Oh, let's have a little look. I missed that one there from Mark. What are you saying? Hi, hope you're doing well. I'm just back from the Makers Central in Birmingham. It was great to see all of the tools and some of the YouTube makers. I didn't spend all my money. Oh, sounds great. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I know the, is that the NEC, Mark? Because I know at different times they've done really big shows there that they do. Oh, that sounds fantastic. Glad you had a good day with it all. Yeah, the NEC, they used to do all sorts of big shows in the NEC, if it is that one. Right, we're going to move things on, and we've got to work on this little robin decoration. I've had, where are we now? We're in May, and it may seem a bit out of season, but I've had an order for 3 of these, as well as a larger bespoke Lovespoon. So we've got to cut them out. That blade is cutting okay. I still think to cut this one out, I'm going to need a new blade. So I'm going to hang on with that one there. To be honest with you, Mark, that's something that we don't do very often. We don't get out of the workshop much. Most of our lives is spent in and around the workshop here. So yeah, things like that, always interesting, and to see all the kits, see all the methods, different ideas. One that I'm doing at the moment, one that I'm working on. Let's have a little look. Yes, 2-day event at the NEC. Ah, fantastic. Yeah, I knew they do different sort of trade shows and things like that. We're a bit, because we're down you're in the wilds of West Wales, we're a bit out of the loop when it comes to a lot of these different things. Yeah, one of the videos that I've been working on at the moment, we're looking at the gouges and the tools and what we recommend for starting out. So that's one that we're working on, just trying to explain, take a bit of the mystery out of it for anyone who's a beginner. I can just see, I'm going to try and stick that tape down a little bit better, because what happens is the dust, you can see, getting blown. You look just there, see, it's just getting blown underneath the tape, and then it becomes a little bit more difficult to follow the lines. So we just try and stick that down a little bit better and make life a little bit easier for cutting out. Sometimes as well, it's just as you push through the hole there, it just picks it up a bit. But there we are. That's the downside of doing things using that method. Just checking that everything is nice and clean. We got nice, clean, sharp edges on the finish, and we're happy with that. So we will go on to the next cut. going back to my beginners wood carving chisels and gouges video, it's an interesting little thing to stop and think, because quite often we're just doing things, we're making stuff, and we don't give it too much thought. We just crack on and get the job done. But when you're doing a video like that, you start thinking, well, what do you really actually need? You know, what gets used? And I came to the conclusion that if you're sort of starting off, and I'll be honest, it's because I've been having a chat back and forth with Michael. So if you're watching this, hello Michael, hope all is well. And then a few others were asking about getting started with wood carving. And what I would sort of recommend, because we use traditional wood carving chisels and gouges. And so what I recommend in the video that I've done is a number 3. And that's on the UK system, because the European system's slightly different. A number 3 and a number 4 and a number 6 and 2 of each, and the only difference then, different widths. So I think it worked out that it was a number 3, a number 4, a number 6 that was something like anywhere between 4 and 6 mils in width, and then other ones that are slightly wider. So anything up to sort of potentially 20 mil, sort of 13, 14, 15 mil. Just interesting, because I basically, those 6 gouges would end up doing probably 95% of the work that I do. So just interesting, what would you advise? What would you suggest? Other carvers? What are your sort of go-to gouges? Those are the few that I would regard as absolutely essential. That's always the drawback when the block doesn't drop down. It just stops the scroll saw cutting out. But just looking at that, we're checking it from the back, everything's fine. Still connected, it's all still joined. Happy days. Could have done it slightly, I could have left a little bit of a bigger beak. But there we are. You can't put it back once you cut it away. There we are. That's all ready to continue working. We'll split the two away from one another. Let's have a little look. We'll split the two pieces away from one another, and then we got the bowls to do. So that's why I leave extra wood on the bottom. So the method of where I'll go with this particular design from here, we will, let's have a look. We'll do the bowl on that one, we'll cut the surrounds, and then we'll mark it out on this one, and that'll give us 2 Robin Christmas tree decorations. Yeah, a little bit stronger there, gone a little bit delicate on the back, but nothing too much to worry us. Not too concerned about that. Let's have a look, did I miss something? All depends on the carving. I have go-to tools for laying out my stop cuts. Yeah, absolutely. That's why with the 3 and the 4, I find those are my like go-to gouges. My go-to. Hello, Gabby as well. Those are my sort of go-to gouges. Are the 3 and 4, the smaller ones. If I can't make up the stop cuts with the large one, I sort of improvise with the 2 smaller, the small 3, number 3 and number 4. Also interested as well. Yeah, going back to Mark. What were your highlights of the NEC? Interested to know what anything new, anything innovative, anything a bit original. Always great to know what's happening out in the wider world of woodworking. There we are. Right. We're going to cut out our butterfly. This blade seems to be cutting okay at the moment, so that's why we're not changing it. So much going on that I couldn't take all of it in. Ah, good stuff. Sounds like a successful little visit. No, just always interested if there are new equipment, new techniques, new companies, new tool makers, all that sort of thing. But sounds good. There you go, so that gives us our butterfly shape. What I will do is I'll actually go around the outside. We'll use the bandsaw for that. Bandsaw and belt sander. A little bit quicker doing it that way. Okay, so, change blade time or have a look at this one. I think we'll change the blade, but I'm going to keep that one. That's a good blade, but I want a new blade for cutting out that Starter David's. Let's have a little look. We've got the spanner there, new blades, but I will keep this one side and I'll give that. The reason I'll keep that, we use, Dad will use that one where he'll put it on he put it on that one where he uses that block of wood. That's a video we got coming up to show you how he did demonstrate it in a live stream, how we use a block of wood so you can carry on using a blade by using just a different part of it. One of those things with scroll saw blades, you definitely get some that cut a lot better and last a lot longer than others. So you may put this one in now and it doesn't last 2 minutes. Alright, so here we go. Let's get cutting. Similar for ourselves, doing something like this is doing like the Celtic knotwork. So that's what I based when we were asked about that method. That's what we do. We'll cut it all out on the scroll saw and then we'll weave it in and out, up and down, using the hand carving tools. just checking that it's nice and smooth on the inside. Just trying to find the hole there. What it is when I've done used the spike to mark all of those out, I've missed one. So that's why I couldn't quite locate where the hole goes through the bottom. So you can see we're halfway through our pierce work, and then we proceed on where we will cut out the surround as well. possibly just come a little bit inside the line there, but I can sort that out later on when we cut the surround, but also when we do the carving. So yeah, that's the nature of doing handwork. Sometimes you will just get a little bit inside or outside the line, but you can sort that out as you go along. Okay, so as you can see, that's our basic profile to work from. What I'm now thinking my mind is going on to is the actual the carving. So I want 2 offcuts just to make life a bit easier. So I'm going to cut down there, and then I'm going to cut down there. I'll probably actually do it the other way around. I'll cut down there because it's a smaller offcut, leave myself more of an offcut afterwards. So this is what I'm working out as I'm going along. I'm working out, right, ideally I want 2 offcuts. The reason for that is if we're squeezing it in the vise, you're going to have those weaknesses. So if you can keep the offcuts, it's going to make life a little bit easier for the carving. So that's what your mind should be going on to, is making life easier at the later stages. Also going to just put that little piece in there. Now we're finished with the pierce work. Just makes that cutting that surround might be a little bit easier. So that just gives us our basic profile. So that's the first part of the process of how I would go about making a Star of David. Right, I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to show you this because this is what we're more familiar with, the Celtic Eternity sign. So I'm going to just do the basic work on this one so you can see how that process works out. Very similar. And then we go across and we do that carving on the Star of David. Just taking that plate out for the rest of the piecework. We're just checking that everything's okay on the back. That seems to be fine. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to take the packing tape off because I can't see. So it always helps if we can actually see the line. And I just got to a stage there where we couldn't actually see where it was going. So take a little bit of that packing tape away. Because if you can't see, you can't follow the line. So we take that away like so. That'll be fine. And we can carry on cooking. check everything you're happy with on the back. That looks fine. And now cut out the strong. There we go. That is the majority of the scroll sorted out on there. On that one there, we just break it, we separate it from the piece of wood from the other piece of wood, and then that's ready for carving. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to change cameras. We're going to go across to the workbench, to the hand carving tools, and we're going to go from there.
This is better than going to pay for a spoon.
Right.
Do you know that?
If it is, it'll be hanging up on the list there. Yeah, you'll have to check it out. There we are. That's Mondays is becoming our day to sort out all sorts of requests and sort out the bespoke spoons, all that sort of thing. Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to do, I'm going to separate these two pieces of wood away from each other. So we get a straight chisel, just like so. Put it in. Boom. There we go. So you can see that now separates the two layers. We can take away most of the tape, and we'll work on the bowl, shape the bottom on the outside, and then once we've done the one, we'll then trace around the one onto the other to give us our two spoons. So yeah, not a bad afternoon's cutting. You can see how we can get all sorts done using those methods of stack cutting. It's great to be able as well to be back, not up to maximum speed, but not far off it, since our problems with the hand. Right, let's have a little look. Okay, if that's going to be on there like so, turn it around like that. That's the one offcut. That's the other offcut. From memory, it went that way, yeah, and that way there. So what we're going to do, we're going to use that same method using. I'm going to separate these out. I'm going to try to anyway. Try to. Yeah, that's fine. You just need to break the tape. There we are. What it is, see, we only need the one layer for our surround, which doesn't want to break apart. I did a good job gluing it. There we go. Right, so there we go. We've got one like that for the one side. So that can go on there like that. And then we do the same on the other side. Let's just try and separate it. God. Wow. What is going on here? Somebody did a good job with the super glue. Bear with me, we will separate it. We try it on there because that's more solid. There, that has broken. Gone. Finally sorted. Right, let's have a look. That goes on there, or does it go the other way around? Should be that way. Open the vise a little bit more, that'll help. Yeah, it's like that. Right, so what I was mentioning in that video, see? So basically, those 4 gouges, we got a number 4, and I would imagine that is quite possibly a number 4 and a number 4, and a number 3 and a number 3, a bigger one and a smaller one, that you can see like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Most of our carving can be done with those ones there. So that's how, how we go about doing the carving. Right, to do the Star of David then, similar to doing the Celtic symbols that we do a lot of, you just create that effect that it's going to weave over and under. So when somebody asked me how, it was on one of our older videos, somebody asked how would you carve a Star of David, and anybody who wants to see something demonstrated, how do you carve a particular thing, yeah, if you do that, put a comment on our video. Just check that you can still hear me okay. So when somebody asks me, yeah, you can do. Just put a comment on one of our videos. We're always more than happy to demonstrate it, either in a video, a live stream, a short. Does remind me actually, if Aubrey sees this at any stage, I have filmed the making of something regarding Aubrey as well. I won't say any more than that, but I have filmed it. So yeah, your request, Aubrey, it has been filmed. Keep meaning to tell you, but I keep forgetting to. It's sorting out in terms of time. There we are. Right, so we've raised that in the vise slightly, just like so. And the reason we've done that is now we can use the gouge just to cut into where the stop cuts go. So just cut a little bit of depth into it. So we mark out, so basically something like this, you're using those same simple principles of carving where you create a stop cut, you cut down into the wood, and then you cut into that stop cut. So nothing too complicated, nothing too challenging. And then afterwards, I will sort of make it more in my own style. And what we will do then is bevel the edges of everything, just to finish off the carving nicely. There we are. So you can see it's just working into those stop cuts. So I'll do as much as I can in the one direction. And then we'll turn it round in the vise and we'll do everything we can in the opposite direction. There we are. The other thing as well, see, something like this as well, this is doing the carving with more sort of detail where it's entwined. You could just leave it flat. So for a scroll saw, looking for a demonstration of how to do a Star of David, you could just leave it flat. But this particular request, it was more specific to a wood carving demonstration. So I thought you'd want to see the wood carving. There we are. Oh, here comes Nico. How are you, Nico?
Good.
How was school?
Good.
Good. You score any goals?
Not this time.
Not this time.
Yesterday I scored top left.
Hmm?
Yesterday I scored top left.
You mean Friday?
Oh yeah, Friday.
Friday, that's him. There we are. So we're just working on a bit of carving. There we are. So you can see we're just getting those where we've carved in the one direction. We can now go and work in the opposite. We are. We're live. Do you want to say hello to everyone?
Hi.
Good boy. There we are. You see Daddy's doing some carving. We've been doing some scroll sorting.
Yeah.
And last week we had your brother with he was at home, wasn't he, with chicken pox.
Yeah.
So he was doing some carving different days.
Was he ever online at all?
We didn't have. He wasn't here for the live stream. You were on your holidays last week for your live stream, see?
Who?
Both of you.
What?
Do you remember? It was the coronation. The carver says hello, Nico.
Hi again.
That's it. Don't you remember? It was the coronation last week, and everybody had a day off on the Monday.
Yeah, I thought Sammy came here.
Are you still on?
We're on the live stream. There we are. We've got Thomas the woodcarver here as well. Yeah.
Wallace,
You're both Thomas the Word
that's a
Carver.
tidy way of doing it. Yeah, I like it.
I thought you're Thomas the Word Carver.
Well, we collectively known
He's
as.
Lovespoon.
They refer to me as Lovespoon, see?
Yeah, but you're still Thomas the Word Carver as well.
Well, that's right. Oh, Mark says hello as well. He says, hope you've had a great day.
Yeah.
Mark was at the NEC last week.
Oh, good.
The years ago you used to say about the NEC, didn't you?
Yeah, they used to always send us.
Did you ever go up for it?
No.
No. That's why they stopped sending to us. Did you ever get asked to go up there then?
Yeah, it was always a situation where you were always...
Always working, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's difficult for us, isn't it? It's difficult for us to get out the workshop.
Yeah.
I suppose it's a good thing in a way, though, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
You know, because we're always busy with making stuff, so we miss out on a lot of the things that are going on, sort of in the wider woodworking world. We miss out on a lot of it because we're busy working here.
Which is better than actually.
Arguing semantics with the 7-year-old. There we are.
Kind of better than and other work stuff.
What's that?
It's kind of better than the other, listening about the...
So what have you been doing in school today, Nico? You can explain to everybody as we're carving this one.
Maths, maybe.
Maths. You like maths?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
So what maths did you learn?
Still doing angles.
Angles?
Yeah.
Angle. Oh, we have to work out angles. We do lots of angles with carving. That's what you're doing all the time, see? Can you see the different angles on this one?
360 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm doing about, what am I doing now, Nico? About a 45-degree angle cut. Would you say it's about a 45-degree?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. 45, 46, I would say.
45, 46.
One of them.
Very high precision stuff. Right, so as you can see, we're coming to the end of this little carving. And what I might do is just to finish off, I might do a little bit of carving on the eternity sign to show you how that's what we do, see. It's always transferable skills when it comes to carving, where you use the experience of doing other carvings to teach yourself a new carving.
Why do they now say R9 instead of Ronaldo?
I don't know, Nico.
Whenever they say
It's
Ronaldo,
probably because there's more than one Ronaldo, see?
Whenever they say Ronaldo, they normally mean Cristiano Ronaldo. Shouldn't they be like Brazilian Ronaldo? Portuguese now.
Possibly. Right, you can see we just got a few more cuts to go. What do you reckon, Nico? Happy with that?
Yeah.
Happy days. Yeah, that's a nice way of doing the Star of David. I'm happy with that. And it's nice to be able now, the hand has recovered enough where I can actually carve normally. A lot of last week was a bit of a struggle to carve, but we got through it. There's a lot of things I still can't do, but it's good enough for working, so that's the main thing. There we are. That's our Star of David, like so. So you can see, easier than me trying to explain how I would make a Star of David. We'll demonstrate it, and it's based on the principles that we would use for there you go, for carving the Celtic eternity sign.
Yeah, tidy job.
So let's show you quickly how we would do that.
That's our security thing.
Yeah, don't turn that, we'll have alarms going off everywhere. Okay, so let's have a little look. We got that like so. Sure. Careful, Nico. Nico's just about to pull the cable out. There we are. That would have been an abrupt end to our live stream. So you can see. For this one, we just mark out that angle across the top.
Like the cable stops there, please.
Yeah, we got to be careful with the cable. Right, so that goes just like so. And then to do the eternity sign, similar to that Star of David that we've been carving, you want to create that effect that it's overlapping, going under and over. So it's three parts, because of course they do call it the Trinity knot as well. What we refer to as the eternity sign. So we will cut down into the wood, and we're going to try and create that effect that it's going over and under itself. There we are.
Hello. What are you doing?
There we are. So we're cutting down into the wood. So you can see how, well, hopefully that becomes clear, how the practice for ourselves of doing eternity signs, because it's a similar sort of process, it's a similar skill to doing that Star of David. It's the same sort of approach. So whenever you're learning, you know, your wood carving, those of you who are oh, we got Ken. Hello there. How's things? Hope all is well. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. So for anybody who might be a beginner, that's what we tend to sort of do is when you learn one carving, quite often you can transfer those skills to another. That's what we've been demonstrating today, Ken. We've been doing, somebody requested, they just asked me straight out, how would you carve a Star of David? And I basically said I would base it on the methods that I would use for doing this one, the eternity sign, and we demonstrated it. Here we are. So we've got all the carving done in the one direction. Turn it round in a vise, and then we do all the carving in the opposite. Any events happening in the west of Wales, Mark Duggan? Well, Marcus was telling us he was, yeah, he's been up in the NEC, up in the big smoke, seeing what's going on. Let's have a little look. So we've got a little bit of detail. Ooh, that's going against the grain, so we're going to have to carve that in a different direction. See, now, technically, technical terms, see, that's incorrect for carving it, but you've always got to take note of what the wood's telling you. The wood speaks to you. It really does. And if you find you carve in a direction that it doesn't like, then you've got to listen to it. You won't win an argument. I'll send on the high as well, Ken. I'll tell him he's wandered off again. Yeah, so when you have a piece and you start carving it, and it's sort of chewing up like that, then it's you've got to take notes. You've got to take notice of what the wood is saying, and carve it in a different direction. You won't win an argument with it. Get the best, cleanest finish that you can get, as opposed to trying to force it to work in the direction that you want, you feel, you know. Normally, see, I'd cut in a completely different direction. I cut in like so, but clearly the wood doesn't want to be cut in that direction. So the main thing you're looking to achieve is a good, clean finish. Now I know the NEC won the bad drive. Yeah, it's one of those things where being well aware of how the wood, of how it works, it is very much something that you want to be taking on board and considering, because you won't win an argument with it. And what you're looking to do as a wood carver is to get the best possible finish on whatever you're making. And how you get there, 99% of the customers, they're not going to be that bothered. Just like so. And then the same, we're looking for a nice clean finish. That 45-degree angle cut. In like so. Turn it round. Just like so. There we go. And then again a clean cut we want. We're nearly there. Beautiful grain on this one. Not the easiest to carve, because it is going in a few different directions, that grain, but as long as we get to that end result. There we are. That piece there doesn't want to carve easily, so we're just going to have to go a little bit deeper there. And if we want to take more off this piece, then we're going to have to carve that in the opposite direction. Just like so. There we are. Yeah. I'm going to do the carver's job today. Don't forget to like the video. Yes, no, absolutely. That'll be great. Yeah, I think we're there with that one. Possibly a little bit of sanding, a little bit of finishing. And yeah, thank you for that, Mark. Always appreciated. Thank you all again for joining us. That is most of the work on there. Finish this one off. We've got a little bit of carving on the heart. Yeah, a little bit of carving. We've got to take a bit of tape off there. We got the bowl to work on as well. But that's, yeah, pretty happy with how that's gone. All good. And we're getting back up, more up to normal speed. Right, yeah. All that's left for me to say is I hope you all have a great week. Any questions? If you're watching this on playback, let us know. Any requests as well for any demonstrations and carvings? Remember, we're always happy to help out and to assist in any way that we can. thanks all. Yeah, and we hope you do. Have a great week. All the best. Thanks for joining us.